Hi, as I said, in our Let Me In group, we're going to do some little pop-ups and some little things around meditation and breath work, and that's what I wanted to do with you today because yin, we use breath as one of the tools that we can help us to, one, stop the mind from kind of looping over into these repetitive thoughts when we're maybe meeting a little bit of challenge in the pose. And also it can help us stay in a pose when we're starting to feel maybe a little bored, a little challenged. Remembering that in yin we're not looking for too much, just enough, but we can meet these challenges, and breath is a tool that we can use. And so the breath we're really not going to change our breath. I'm just going to guide you through how we can stay with the breath and a few tips on what we could do if we are feeling like, oh, we really want to move out of the pose, it's starting to feel a little irritable. This is the kind of thing that we could do to help us stay there. So I'm just going to do this seated, and it's a good practice to do if you're just feeling a bit rushed or a bit stressed. Just to check in, our breath is such a good guide as to how we're feeling. We often say if something was so beautiful it took my breath away, or when we're frightened we hold our breath. When we're struggling or straining, we're often gripping and tensing our breath. So we want our breath to feel really nice and easy and relaxed. And there's little tips and tools that we can use that send a signal to the body and into our nervous system to calm down. And one of those is extending our breath. So we'll add that in here today. But first of all, I just want us to pay attention to our breath. So I'm just going to do this seated. You could do this lying down, and of course in our yin practice we'll be doing it in yin postures. So just find whatever position works for you. If you are seated, then it's often nice to have somewhere to lean back onto. If you're lying down on the floor, just make sure that you're relatively comfortable, that you can rest the hands onto the body somewhere. So let's just start by bringing the hands just to rest, so the hands are on the belly, and close the eyes down. Take a nice breath in through the nose, and then just an exhale out through the mouth. And then just start to observe your breath. Noticing if it feels a little rushed or a little short. Sometimes just by bringing our attention to the breath, it's enough to change it. It's enough to start to calm things down. So noticing for you, where do you feel like the breath moves into the body as you breathe in and out? I'd like you to try and breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, but every now and then a breath out through the mouth is great. Which part of the body do you notice expand with the breath? Does the breath make its way as far down as the belly, or does it feel like it sits a little more into the upper chest? Does the ribcage expand and under the armpits? And if you're leaning against something, can you feel the breath moving behind you? Does your body push into whatever you're laying on or leaning on? Does the front of the body move a little further forward on the inhale and a little further back on the exhale? So we get this gentle rising and falling of the chest. And maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but just observing that. Finding this little job to anchor the mind. And if the mind starts to wander off, that's no problem, just notice it. And then see if you can come back to the breath. Maybe you can start to notice the sensation of the breath moving in through the nose. Whether the breath seems to move in through one nostril more than the other, or out through one more than the other. Is there a change in temperature in the breath as it enters the body and exits the body? Is there anywhere that you're tensing as you breathe in and out, and can you soften that? And the longer that you're watching the breath, is the breath naturally changing? Are you noticing if the breath is getting longer or shorter? Is there any change to the length of the inhale and the length of the exhale? And again, there's no problem. There's nothing to change, just to observe. And as you're watching your breath, is there a change in the quality of your mind? Are you feeling tense, or are you finding that you're getting some more space, that perhaps your mind is quietening a little? Maybe the recurring thoughts and planning has kind of settled for a moment. Even if things keep popping back in, maybe they're just not popping back as often. If the mind does start to wander off, you could just maybe say to yourself, breathing in on the inhale and breathing out on the exhale, or just inhaling, then exhaling. Just ways of keeping you present in your body, just to help stop the mind drifting off into stories or planning, to-dos and to-don'ts. And that way our yoga practice becomes even more like medicine. Creating some space for ourselves in the day, just to stop thinking. Nice and slow, just let go of any of that process. Take again a nice full inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Great. So that's the kind of work we want to start to add into our yoga practice. And this is a practice of its own, just to observe the breath. And also when we're doing our yoga, our yin practice, we're going to use a lot of these techniques. Also lots of other bits and pieces we'll use as tools. So look forward to you joining me. Please click into the Let Me Yin Facebook group if you would like to join that. It's $60 for 5 weeks, and then we'll add on to that if you're enjoying it. So click in if you join the group. As of Tuesday 9:30, the first yin class will be Tuesday the 3rd of November, that's tomorrow. And if you've joined that group and you decide that you're not going to be a paid member, then I'll just unlink you from that group. So look forward to catching up with those of you who join me tomorrow. Enjoy your days.